last September I decided to buy an SX90 widescreen. I've had it for 6 months now and I've had no trouble with it whatsoever. In any case, it's under warranty for parts and labor, and I've got another 2 years on parts. I'm using the camera instead of the 400 because I feel the clients actually want to shoot digital without the format headache. With the A30 studio player, you can play SX and SP tapes in an edit on the same machine.
For me, one camera is just like the next, but this one differs from the rest just by looking at it. It's robust, it's durable, and I think in cheaper cameras the metal is replaced by plastic.
Watch your hands down. Watch your hands. Okay, we ease the traveller right down to the side and ease the leeward runner. Can you guys go up and on?
Ok Luc, quand tu veux.
Bonjour encore. Nous sommes aujourd'hui à Göteborg en Suède où il fait
Tu l'entends bien?
Oui, je l'entends très bien là, le son est très bon. Ouais.
Clair?
Très clair. Well, for half of my shoots, I don't have a sound recordist, so it's particularly useful to have very easy audio to operate. The built-in wireless receiver is very convenient. In fact, you can hear as far as you can see with a lens doubler. The SX camera allows me a stop and a half more than my old 400. I find the CCD chip much more sensitive and I can cope with much less lighting.
Which is very frustrating for a sailor. You really have to want it because certainly circumstances happen that will question everybody's integrity and courage.
Day-to-day maintenance is minimal and my clients don't have to spend a fortune on stock. An SX tape lasts 60 minutes. So most of my clients use SP tapes, but SX tapes are actually cheaper.
Thierry isn't the only cameraman I know who uses the setup card. That means that he can get the same look for any camera he uses. And of course, it's perfect for multi-camera work.
Well, I find it's easier to use on a 400, especially as far as exposure is concerned. You know, when there's changes while you're shooting, when the sun goes in and out, the intelligent auto iris means that the camera can ignore the highlights and it's really convenient.
Bonjour, nous sommes ici à Göteborg en Suède. En Suède, c'est donc la préparation.
TrueEye maintains color in highlights. When you overexpose on a face, for instance, it tends to go yellow. With the SX, that doesn't happen. The color doesn't change. And I've never seen that on another camera. When I'm asked on productions to do pretties and establishing shots, if I use a telephoto lens and I want to improve the clarity, I use a Dyna Latitude option. And in some occasions it really improves the clarity of the shot.
Okay, we ease the traveller right down to the side.
Turbo gain is really great. It operates in very low lighting conditions. It'll actually work in half a lux, which is much more than the eye can see.
On a shoot like this, I have several worries. Is the camera gonna stand up to foul weather? How long do we last with the batteries? And can we risk changing tapes in a boat? The SX camcorder has lithium-ion batteries. A tape lasts 60 minutes, so we don't changing tapes all the time. And the camera is very robust. There is another safety net. The CA702 allows you to do parallel recording or record from another camera. Tu dois faire tourner?
Oui, mais attends, je voudrais essayer de voir le skin tone. Magnus, can you keep still, please? Là, c'est off. Alors là, c'est on.
Ok. Voici, ça tourne.
Ça tourne.
On y va?
On y va.
When I first used the SX camcorder, I didn't want to go too deeply into the menu options, and such as detail correction. Now I find I use skin detail correction in all the interviews that I do. I use it all the time. It's automatic.
Gain experience in the ocean racing, they will be as good as the men. Perhaps already this race, we will see.
Martin, là, on a un très beau plan, là, avec le soleil derrière les voiles. Can we get a little closer to the boat? Just a little bit, please. Ok, mais là c'est... Ouais, là c'est bon, avec le soleil c'est vraiment super. Ok. Look, action.
Eh bien bonjour, n'oubliez pas de prendre votre rendez-vous, ne le ratez surtout pas dans 4 mois, au mois de septembre, c'est la Whitbread. À très bientôt, au revoir.
I would find it very difficult to go back to analog, having used digital SX now. I really think it's a better camera. It's tough, it's reliable, it's easy to operate, and it's cheap to run.
This last year I shot on many formats, including film, and the one that's proved most uncompromising, flexible and cost-effective is SX, the sure replacement for SP.
The SX camera overall is very robust, it's very easy to operate, it's perfect weight, it fits well on my shoulder. It's particularly good for news gathering, I find, which is basically what my work is. It's quite similar to the 300 and the 400. Through the compression, of course, you can use a 30-minute tape and have an hour of recorded material on there. And there are many situations where you lose certain shots because you have to change tapes. So it's much better for me because in news gathering I don't have to change cassettes all the time. The wide auto-wide feature is a very useful feature because there are many different lighting situations, and sometimes, however much I try to think about it, I forget to do it. It does happen, I have blue pictures and yellow pictures.
C'est parti. Ça va ici? Ça va.
The good shot marker works on the camera very simply. In fact, you just press on the return button once to mark, to make a mark of your shot.
Bonjour. En France, Villes et Villages organise chaque année une...
You press it twice if you don't want to make a mark of this shot.
Bonjour. En France...
In filming news, we don't usually use a sound recorder, so it's quite useful to have a comprehensive sound system in the camera. The wireless receiver is very easy to operate. It's very robust. It takes its power from the camera, and it has an inbuilt limiter, which means it's a hands-free operation, and it has a very good range.
Formidable.
Ici, au cœur de Vieux-Nice, se trouve le plus ancien marché à la brocante de France. Ce trésor renferme tout ce dont vous rêvez, du bric-à-brac à l'objet rare.
I think that the SX quality is better than the SP quality and no dropouts because it's a digital. That is wonderful for the cameraman and for the post-production.
Shooting digital nowadays is really better because we have 4 digital channels. It's good when you're doing stereo because you can split the channel. The 4-channel adapter is great because it goes well on the camera quickly and it gives me a digital SDI output.
C'est tout simple, on trouve dans ce marché à la brocante
16:9 is the best ratio that we can get in video because it looks like a movie picture and it's more dramatic and to compose a frame it's more beautiful.
I have the impression that the SX is made for reliability and it's very reliable. I mean, you have to rely on your crew, you have to rely on the equipment, and this is a really important thing. The most important thing is that there's the quality. With analog, we always had this. We had to check it again and again because we could have a dropout. Now we're sure that that everything, the quality is fine. That's a real big advantage in time and in money. Parfait.
Jean-François, je crois que je suis en fin de borne là.
J'ai plus de cassettes aussi.
When your stock of SX is finished, we can use SP tapes because we can find everywhere SP tape because it's 10 years ago or 12 years ago it exists SP tapes. Ok, barre. Alors, on fait 10 secondes de barre, on fait 30 secondes de barre.
The reporter can, through the DNE50 laptop, select the shots which I've marked on the camera. And just those shots and not the whole tape, of course, which means that you can make a pre-selection for the edit.
Concurrents viennent de s'élancer pour une...
The edited material is then sent back to base by satellite at up to twice the speed, with absolutely no loss of quality.
Paul, this has just come in as a satellite feed. Cycle racing from southern France now. I take possession of a story once it's been created by the workers out in the field.
Okay, how long do you want it to be?
A minute and a half.